Coach, your group put together quite the fourth quarter. What did you see out of them, and especially in the final frame?
Yeah, I thought we executed down the stretch. It held them to 6 fast break points in that second half, which I thought was great. Just being able to find the matchups that we needed, intentional in our work. But again, that fourth quarter was very special for our guys.
The starting lineup had 100 of the 30 points, or 114 of the 130 points. What was working for that group when they were on the floor together? And
I just think they were just finding each other, finding the right things. If you notice in moments, it was one time it was AB, one time it was Jalen, one time it was Paulo, one time it was Des, and then the unsung hero to me in this is Wendell Carter Jr. Didn't say a word, guarded how he needed to guard, rebounded when he needed to rebound, and then he got rewarded, just for being underneath the basket. But he never said a word. He just did his job, which he does every single night consistently, and that's what we continue to need from him.
Kind of on that, you turned to that group to open the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
and they essentially played the entire fourth quarter except for maybe a minute and a half when Tristan was in for Jalen. What went behind the decision of turning to them early, down 13 entering the quarter, and how do you think?
Just being able to sustain that run, that they went on a run there, and just trying to get those guys back in the game because of how they had been playing. Just being able to make sure we sustained it, got ourselves back in it, and then the energy that those guys brought, I thought was fantastic. So, again, those guys did a heck of a job, withstanding the run and then coming back from it.
You mentioned this was a heck of a fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. Like what can a win like this do for a team's confidence and kind of building momentum at this stage of the season?
Well, I think it just continues to say what we're capable of doing. You look at the other night, the quarter we held them to 20 and scored 40. I think it's those things when you understand exactly how good you can be in these moments, what you have to do. We can sit and watch this and learn from it. What were the things that allowed us to be successful here? And that was sharing and moving the basketball, playing with intention, getting back in transition, and keeping them out of the early easy baskets.
With the minutes restriction for Jalen, how tough was it to take him out, keep him on? I mean, what was just
might have bumped up maybe a minute and a half or so.
What difference does he make? I mean,
you saw what he did. You saw what he did. His energy, and we've said it about him time and time again, his energy is infectious, and what he does for these guys and this group and this fan base and this crowd, like he gets everybody going, and it starts with his defense. And then there was just some offensive plays. I'm going to have to go back and look at the film and see exactly what he did for that dump off to Dell. But I think he just does so many things that are just winning plays in these moments.
Coach, season high threes for Des, makes and attempts. Was that quick trigger assertiveness just part of his mentality, his approach tonight? Was that part of the game plan? And what does that generally, when he has a quick trigger like that, do for this Magic offense?
Love it for him. Love that for him. And he understood the coverages where guys were on him, getting to his shot. But I think, he was shooting close to 10 last year in Memphis, and I think that's when he's at his best clip. And for us to be able to continue to find him in these situations says a lot about our guys, and him being able to let that thing go is huge.
Coach, at the beginning of the season, you said that there would be probably about half the season spent on determining a rotation and determining which players will likely be in that consistent rotation. No minutes for Goga Batadze tonight, no minutes for Jace Richardson. What goes into the decision of taking guys out of the lineup versus keeping them in?
That's a great question. The first part of that is, you're banking on it not having an injury-riddled season. And so now that those guys get minutes, when guys are out, they're bumping back in. And so just what goes into it is now it's going to be about matchups, different times, different rotations, different guys. It's going to have to be that for now down the stretch, because any given night it can be somebody else's number called. Like we said with the starters, well, next night it might be somebody else that comes off the bench and gives a big spark. So guys just have to stay ready, for the remainder of this year, of the regular season.
Pre-game, I asked you how challenging it can be to stay the course and not get frustrated over the balance of 82 games. What about within 48 minutes? Because the way the third quarter ended, it could have been a moment where Toronto runs away with it. So what is the message at the end of the third quarter to regather and get back on track?
Stay the course. I think that's what you just said. It's a 48-minute game. It's not won or lost necessarily in that third quarter. Now they had their momentum swing, and that's what you say in huddles. They had their run. We've had our run. And so now we got to go into this fourth quarter and do the right thing and go on our run. So understanding that game's not over till that final horn goes off, and our guys played that way, and that's what you saw in the run that we went on. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Des, your group put together quite the fourth quarter effort. What did you see, especially in that final frame tonight?
I thought we were just competing. I think we switched everything 1 through 5 for pretty much that whole quarter, and it was like guard your yard, take on that challenge, guarding whoever's in front of you, and they say party on the other end, and I thought that was our motto that whole fourth quarter.
Wendell, Jamal called you the unsung hero tonight for the group. What was working for you out there? What was tonight? What was the battle like tonight?
Just doing what was needed to get the win. It's kind of been the topic of just getting back in that winning column. Dropping 2, winning 2, winning 1, losing 1. So I just went into this game. No matter if I was scoring points, getting rebounds, blocking shots, I was setting good screens for others. You know what I'm saying? I just told myself coming to this game, I'm going to do whatever is needed to get this win tonight.
What went wrong in that third quarter, and what did you guys focus on to change it?
It was just getting out and running. We were crashing underneath, and then when we weren't crashing, we weren't getting back. So coming into the huddle, we talked about it, we figured it out, and then we limited them to about 6 transition points, I think, after that point. So I think we did a really good job of just locking in on what they was doing offensively that was hurting us.
Des, this morning you said that this game would be a dogfight with the Raptors after the first game back in December. You obviously brought the tenacity tonight, and what did you think of this game, and how'd you guys get it rolling there in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. They playing physical, we're playing physical. There's a couple times where the Raptors was complaining to the refs, saying we're both physical teams, let us play, and I thought that we matched it and exceeded it, at times, that's why we came out on top.
This season, this is the first game that you've had double-digit 3-point attempts in a game. You let it fly tonight. You're averaging the lowest feet per attempt in shots this season in your career. How did it feel to just let it fly and be in a rhythm tonight from 3?
Yeah, it was good. They've been on me about it, trying to find ways for me to get more 3-point attempts up. 10's been the goal for the last few games, and hopefully I can continue to hunt them and get them up.
Basketball is certainly a game of runs. This one was no different, especially in the fourth quarter. Just what was the conversation like between everyone on the team when you're going into the fourth and you're down double digits and trying to make a run yourself to get a much-needed win?
I think just attention to detail. That team, they don't run many sets. They want to get out in transition. And it was just as simple as that, just locking in on that and making them play in the half court. I think we have a really good half court defense. When we're set, we're very hard to score on. So that was that part of it. And then on the offensive end, just taking shots when you're open. I think just for example, Dad's getting up 10 of them. Like you said, we want to get him more and more looks because that's one of the main reasons he's here in Orlando. We want him taking 10 plus threes a night. So I think this is just a start of what we can do in the future.
Kind of on that, how much momentum can you get from a win like this? Just the way you guys wanted, having to rally, essentially starters coming in beginning of the fourth quarter, having to play all the way through. What can this win do for your confidence as a group as you move into this next phase of the season?
Yeah, we've been talking about building, continuing to build, especially heading into All-Star break. Feel like it's a great time to get some momentum and get some rhythm. So I think that, we've had good carryover, even dating back to some of them games that we started playing. We started really having real dialogue before we went over there to that overseas trip. Just being intentional about what we want on both ends of the floor, and we've been putting that into action, and it hasn't been pretty for the full substantial games, but I think we turn in the right direction.
Everyone good? One more.
My bad. 5 dunks tonight, Wendell.
No
big deal. There it is.
Yeah.
You're
How
actually
many?
5 dunks tonight.
Yeah.
And actually, I think leading the team in dunks on the season after tonight, even over AB. And total dunks and threes, if you combine that, your top 2 as well. What do you credit for that strong play finishing this season?
Shit, my teammates finding me, being aggressive in those moments. Yeah, that's really about it.
We call him Beast. That boy a beast. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let him know, Dale.
All right, I think we're good.